Good evening, everybody. Sorry I'm a little late, but I made it. Good evening. Yeah, I was looking through the chat. There was a Papa Roger here last night. Um, we don't know where he went though. We tried to, we tried to talk to them, whoever they were, and as soon as we put the spotlight on them, they were out. They were like, "We're gone." They were like, "We're gonna leave now. We're not gonna bother you." So hopefully you guys have had a great weekend, a great day today. It was really nice here, weather-wise. Hopefully it was nice where you guys are. I didn't get a tan by any means. I need one of those. So if you guys don't mind hitting the like button, that does help the channel grow, does help get the video out. We're going to be doing some reading tonight. It's going to be fun. So I thought that I had a good invention, but it's already been invented. So earlier today, I wanted somebody to read this to me. I didn't want to read it. I didn't want to read it a bunch of times because I knew that Howard Blum, as an author, likes to put in a bunch of huge words, or they're not even really that big, but they're just words that you don't use very often. Nobody uses in the English language. So it sounds like I'm speaking French when I'm trying to read his articles. So I thought, what if there was an app that could read things to you? You just type in, you just copy and paste it and it'll read it. Well, you can do that on the MacBook. I didn't realize that. If you just highlight the whole paragraph and you hit speech, it will read everything back to you. So it's already been invented, so nobody's going to be rich over here with an invention today. So I was kind of disappointed about that. I thought, man, I'm quitting my job, quitting everything. I'm going to be rich. It's going to invent that, but it's already been invented. So here we are, back to the drawing board. Have you guys ever tried to invent anything? Let me know if you have in the comments. My mom used to be really good at inventing things on the fly. If we needed it, she was there. But that's how moms are. So good evening to everybody. I saw there's a bunch of people in the chat. I love that. Can't beat that. Love a big chat on a Sunday. Hopefully Ashley's not working, because that poor girl, that's all she does is work, work, work. Sounds like me does sometimes. So like I said, Howard Blum did come out with a new article. And I didn't mean to actually, I played a video whenever we were, the music was going. So if you heard me in the background, that was what it was. I was like, Yeah, how is your wrist doing, Teresa? I meant to ask you that last night in the chat. And then Kelly D just asked, so it reminded me. Let me see. So this is the 4th installment in his series. I don't know how to, it's his opinion based off of the probable cause, the search warrants, and things of that nature. And he just piles it into these 30-minute reads. And it goes from anywhere from 20 minutes to 30-minute reads. And he just kind of goes over the case and what his analysis is on it. So take it with a grain of salt. But I mean, it's not, I want to make sure everyone knows it's not the Bible. It's just what they say. This came out this morning, Mary Shao Smith. This came out, I woke up this morning with a alert because I forgot that I had bought, we had 3 installments. So you could sign up for 7-day trial or something, but I tend to not cancel mine after the trial's over, and then I forget about them, and then they end up charging my card for the rest of my life because I always forget to sign off of them. So here we are. So yeah, so I got an alert this morning that there was a new one out. I haven't seen anybody covering it. I was looking all day today on YouTube. I'm like, is anybody else going to cover this? Because it is a kind of a harder read, and I just wanted to see someone else's take on it, but nobody did. So here we are. Oh, who has poison ivy, Ashley? Oh no. On your face, beside your, oh no. My mom had potpourri, remember potpourri? She had it open and it was oily, and she put her hands in it, didn't realize she put her hands in it, and then touched her face and she touched her eye, and I remember it was all swollen. Oh yeah, so this is an interesting read. So I'm going to start reading it. We're going to see how I do. If it sounds crazy and no one understands me, we will go to the robot version. But I don't want to robot it on you. I was hoping Isabel was in here tonight because she knows all about our robots. When the PCA came out, the 18 pages, we listened to that all on like a robotic voice. It was like scratching the chalkboard. And then I also have the Twitter pulled up. So I have this Twitter page pulled up because I had found way back in like November, it was the end of November, it was November 27th actually. I had seen a post on Twitter and I thought it was an explanation of the 911 call. And it made me really start thinking. I was like, that kind of sounds like it could definitely be the explanation for the 911 call. It kind of made sense. So I'll read that after we're done reading this, if I have any more breath in me. Hey, Brooke, it's been a while. Isn't that a pretty name, Olivia? I like that name too. I think that's a pretty name. Okay, so let's get started with reading this. I'm going to try to blow it up for you guys a little bit, if I can. And I will send the link. So if you guys haven't read the first 3 installments of this, I will, I'll be putting the link out on my members only, but I'll try to remember to put it out for everybody also. Then let me see here. What else did I say? Oh, also today on Days of Our Lives with Tanya and Ashley Banfield, I made a Twitter post this morning. If you haven't seen it, and I just asked Ashley Banfield, and I tagged, Dan Abrams, Ashley Banfield, News Nation, the whole deal. And I asked her if she was going to come out and do a retraction on that, the body cam footage where she said the bedroom door was locked. And then she called Mr. Gonzalez and asked Mr. Gonzalez what he thought about the bedroom door being locked. That really bad piece of news. That was really bad. That was like, that took the whole cup for me. So, she hasn't responded yet. I don't think she will. But I know she probably seen it because she does respond on Twitter. So we'll see. I just think that I'm surprised, and it's still up too. The video's still up. But who the hell does that? I'm still reeling over that over here. Still thinking about it. Laughing Stock is here. You got a membership the other day. I don't know if you were in here when you got it. I forget who got it for you. Well, look at all these people. Yep. So as you're joining us, if you don't mind, we're going to get ready to read this. I don't want to interrupt too much and have to say, like the video. So if you guys wouldn't mind just like the video, that'd be great. It does help the channel. I'll put my banner up. If you'd like to join the channel and become a member, we would love to have you. So I'll put that in the comments too, even though I have Nightbot to do that and stuff now. I still like to do it. The memberships, they start at like 99 cents and they go up from there just depending on what you kind of want. The first one's just like emojis. The second one, you get like members only, like exclusives, videos, and then you get the emojis on top of it. And then there's a second tier. I believe there's two or 3 tiers. So yeah, and they're not too much. We did have them going when I first started, they were kind of high. We put them down because we were like, we don't need them to be that high, guys. I'm going to turn off my camera just because I'm going to be reading. I'm going to grab my drink. Also, if you hear me smoking on my vape, taking me a second of a break on this, reading this story, I'll try to mute it. But if you hear it, just mind your own today, because I may need it. And Eddie wants to know where's Papa. I know. I want to know where Papa is too. Oh man, I've been cleaning all day. My hands smell like cleaner even though I washed them. Well, hopefully Papa will be in the chat tonight. We'll see. I also have some questions that I've typed up that I was going to ask you guys. Just your opinions on too. Let me know if you have any questions over anything in the chat, and I will try to answer it for you. If I don't see it because I'm reading, I can't see the chat at the same time. One of the mods will, or one of them, even the members or any of the Titans will. You guys are all great about helping people get to where they need to be. Now, I don't know if I can blow this. I think I can blow it up a little bit more. Okay, so In Cold Blood, The Eyes of a Killer, Part 4. The case against Bryan Kohberger depended on a series of improbable breakthroughs and unlikely cast of characters. And this is Howard Blum right here. He's been on, was it Megyn Kelly's show? I think it was Megyn Kelly's show. He discussed some things that he thought about, he thought about the case. So, like I said, this is his opinion, but this is his opinion on, the facts of the case, he says. So, and then I can get you guys, if you want part 1, part 2, and part 3, I can get those for you. I can get you the link. I can't get you like the actual doc, like this, because I can only put 5 on, I think, YouTube at a time. But I'll get you the link for it. That way, if you want to read it on your own. It says, you know how cops work. You know what they look for. You know the questions they'll ask. You know all their tricks. You're prepared, well trained. After all, you've taken the classes, earned the degrees. You've gotten into the heads of bad guys, written crime scripts, as your professors call them. You learned from their mistakes. But it's one thing to ace advanced crime scene investigations, and it's another to commit a crime, especially when the crime is murder. What did that boxer say? All plans go out the window once you get punched in the mouth. Seems that holds true for killings too. Once the knife plunged deep in flesh, once the blood starts gushing. So you screwed up. You left the knife sheath behind on the bed next to one of the blonde girls, sloppy. It is not a catastrophe. You know what the science can prove and what it can't. That's why you were vigilant, meticulous, took precautions, and that's how you're going to keep on acting, and that's how you get away with it. No, nothing's changed except they're all dead. I really hate this writer. I'm going to tell you guys that in the beginning. Just going to let y'all know. We should have done an open panel, and I should have had us all read a section. That's what I should have did. But if anyone wants to read a section, you're more than welcome. And thank you again for being here, guys. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to smash that like button, The first time Bryan Kohberger walked through a murder scene was in the Cold Stone house on the leafy corner of Taylor Drive in Center Valley, Pennsylvania. There were blood-stained bodies sprawled about the musty low-ceilinged living room. Only the corpses were mannequins. The blood was red paint. The living room was in the DeSales University crime scene house, and he was an undergraduate taking 365 psychological sleuthing. 2 years later, on the other side of the country, the Latah County, Idaho authorities have charged that Kohberger, now a doctoral candidate in criminal justice, was once again in a crime scene house filled with blood-stained bodies. Only now the 4 corpses in the 3-story clapboard house on King Road in Moscow, Idaho, were young college students. The flowing blood was real, and Kohberger, they alleged, had been the knife-wielding killer. The more than 6-week investigative process that transformed Kohberger from a student of the criminal mind into an accused murderer is in its full scope, a spluttering tale. Days of follow frustration were followed by hard-charging breakthroughs, only to once again come to an uneasy, anxious halt until at last the conclusive, incriminating piece would be okay, you know what? If I can't say it, we're going to do this. We're literally going to speak it. Felicitously. Can't say it. Fitted into the puzzle. In the end, the headline exulted. It was victory in scientific technique, pure forensic detective work. Just kidding. I won't do that on every time. I'll just skip over the words that are kind of difficult if he wants to be difficult with me. If you guys haven't seen this picture, this is Bryan in high school. I think everyone's seen it. I feel bad for the people that are surrounding Bryan Kohberger in this picture, like the guy beside him with the afro-looking hair and the bangs, because he probably never wanted that picture seen again, like ever. Is everyone doing okay in the chat? Okay, so yet there is a measure of truth to the reductive take. The true genesis lies in the activities of an unsung group of heroes scattered across the breadth and width of the entire country. If any of their actions in any of these seemingly unrelated catalysts had not been set in motion, then it can be argued things may have been played out differently. That's Kohberger senior picture, I guess. That's probably why he's in a tie. Or did you wear ties in high school to take pictures? I don't remember. The secret warriors include a pair of blurry-eyed night shift Washington State University campus cops, a resolute Pennsylvania state trooper whose aching memories of a dismembered body stuffed into 3 battered suitcases decades earlier spurred him into action on a fateful night in the Poconos, and an observant Snake River kayaker who in 2014 spotted the bloated, decaying body of a woman floating in the fast-moving water beneath the arching steel spans of the Perrine Bridge near Twin Falls, Idaho. A chance discovery that 7 years later would severe in its heuristic way to sharpen the tip of the spear in the case aimed against Kohberger. See, that whole paragraph to me meant nothing. I don't know. And not at least in the final moments of investigative triumph, the load was carried by a group of dedicated and inventive scientists working in a 4-story, sun-filled, modernistic lab in the Woodlands, Texas. Yet here, too, there were supporting players, passive yet certainly no less essential in the broad scheme of things, including a self-made billionaire venture capitalist and the complicated man who had first introduced the deep-pocketed investor to the circle of public-spirited scientists, a former Holocaust denier, an occasional internet race baiter, who now claims to do hush-hush spook work as he huddles with Julian Assange in London, slinks around the Middle East, and helps supply invaluable radar equipment to the Ukraine forces. And then to looking at the case at purely operational terms, the final outcome, it must be conceded, had a great deal to do with Bryan Kohberger. He thought he was very smart, and he was, but just not smart enough. No clue, I'm snowing, Eddie said. I know. So who wrote this? Okay, Ed, okay, so I'm going to turn the camera on so I can explain this to you. This is Howard Blum. He likes to get you with the words. He likes to get you with the stuff that doesn't make it, it's not relevant, but he puts it all in there. So he makes, like, this is supposed to be a 23-minute read. It's going to take us 4 hours, but I'm going to try not to. But no, like, he'll just put in things that are just, they make you're going, what does that have to do with Idaho? You know what I mean? But I don't know. Teresa, did you hear about her husband though Morphew's husband putting in for like some sort of money, and now like they can bring all that up to the prosecution? Like Suzanne might be getting her day. She might be, things may be going places. I've heard. I just heard it today. I heard it really quick, and I was like, oh, gotta tell Teresa. So let me grab a drink, and I will get back to reading. I like picture books. JK, I'm just kidding. A brilliant student, it says. Still before getting his competence, Bryan Kohberger apparently knew a good deal about what makes criminal minds tick, and at least one of his professors enthusiastically agreed. Dr. Michelle Bolger, who advised Kohberger on his master's thesis in the criminal justice department at DeSales University, told a reporter he was a brilliant student. In my 10 years of teaching, she raved, I've only recommended 2 students to the PhD program, and he was one of them. He was one of my best students ever. And I had her actually looked up, and I don't know what happened to the page. Is it right here? Yeah. So if you haven't seen her before, this is her. This is what she looks like. I don't know if I can open this. No, that didn't work out. So yeah, that's her. Gives you a picture with the person, I guess. She said that he was one of the best students that she's ever had. Thank you so much, Eddie, for the super sticker. Thank you so much. Hey, Heels, how are you doing? Just happened to be looking down right at the right time. Welcome, everybody coming in. Where did we stop? Okay, here we go. I'm like, where were we at? It says, Kohberger, too, thought he learned a lot and was ready to put his effortful book learning to practical use. In the fall of 2022, during his first semester in the criminology doctorate program at Washington State University, he applied for an internship at the nearby Pullman Police Department. In the application essay, which the Idaho cops later shared, Kohberger, with apparent self-affirming pride, wrote that he had an interest in assisting royal law enforcement agencies with how to better collect and analyze technological data in public safety operations. collect and analyze technological data, public safety operations. That's a bit of a grad school jargon that boils down to the sort of common sense stuff that is the constant folder of the Myra TV dramas that begin with the good guys decked out in white jumpsuits peering down with inquisitive concern at an inert corpse. Why does he have to do that to me? Oh, welcome to our Titan crew, Heels. Welcome, welcome. Inevitably, I'm going to like write Howard Blum a long message that has all kinds of big words that I don't even know how to use. Someone's going to have to help me write it. So crazy, isn't that crazy? We love Heels in the Air in this chat. We love her here. Inevitably, they move on with methodical eagerness. I don't know why I can't say that. To gather evidence by pulling surveillance camera videos, checking out the cell phones that had pinged off nearby towers as the crime scene gone down, and running revelatory license plate numbers through the all-knowing law enforcement computer systems. And Kohberger was immodestly asserting that he was a whiz at putting all the disparate data streams to effective use. He could not tutor the local yokels, law enforcement agencies, was how he put it, with a supplicant's careful tact in forensic sleuthing. Only here's the irony. There were precisely the sort of cold, hard technological capabilities that helped to build the case against him. Each nudged Bryan Kohberger closer to the crosshairs of the Idaho police. Each reinforced the mounting suspicion that they had identified their knife-wielding killer. The cumulative evidence was damned incriminating. But it wasn't proof. Circumstantial evidence, however, how do you say this? I'm going to look it up, guys. I can't say it right. Okay. Circumstantial evidence, however, agilely, the various threads can be woven together to form a plausible narrative, cannot on their own bind together on an open and shut case, especially if a canny defense attorney is determined to pull them apart. In fact, they're not even enough to get an arrest warrant. We know that picture. Take, for instance, example, the now infamous sightings of the white Hyundai Elantra on surveillance camera footage in the vicinity of the King Road house in the pre-dawn minutes subsequent to the savage killings of the 4 college students, Kaylee Gonzalez, 21, Madison Mogan, 21, Xander Kernodle, 20, and Ethan Chapin, 20. Within days of the murders, the Moscow police had gathered a stream of video featuring what they quickly dubbed Suspect Vehicle 1. There never was a Suspect Vehicle 2, or for that matter, 3. Only they had problem with the quality of the images. They were flickering recorded in varying light. The pixels had captured a fast-moving white car, but that was about all the local cops could say for sure. So the promising, I have a not in here, sorry, but far from conclusive video were swiftly dispatched to building 27948, I'm saying this wrong, but 27958A, Pod D, Quantico, Virginia. That was where the forensic examiners of the Image Analysis Unit of the FBI Operational Technology Division worked their magic using a bit of software that had been originally developed at the cost of about $1 million taxpayer dollars, like how he puts that in there, for the secretive Defense Department, outfitted, nestled deep in the clandestine heart of the deep state. The irregular welfare technical support doctorate. With the click of a few computer keys, the program searches through a staggering inventory of cars until it ultimately, according to the confident government description, identifies the make and model of the vehicle in a still image. I could have made that way easier on him. So basically, he's just saying that they took this to Quantico, to the FBI Operational Technology Division, and they, made the image sharper. And, it was a video, so they made it into a still. My Lord, he always has to make this way more complicated than it has to be, And it worked like a charm on the handful of videos the Moscow cops had gathered, or more precisely, 3 charms. The FBI forensic examiner first deduced that suspect vehicle 1 was a 2011 to 2013 Hyundai Elantra. Then, upon further review, to use the phrase of the candid Idaho authorities, he decided the mysterious Hyundai might very well be a 2011 to 2016 vehicle. And I feel like I was talking to somebody and they said that there's not much of a difference between the 2011 to 2016. So I'm going to get that person actually on the phone and see if I can record them. Thank you, Eddie. You're so sweet, Eddie. Can I get calamine lotion now? Oh. Yeah, you better get some of that on your face. Oh, my lordy. So it says that's it. He cast a pretty broad net, and he cast it 3 times to boot. Still, when it turned out that Bryan Kohberger owned a 2015 white Hyundai Elantra, it was right in the ballpark of the FBI's analysis of the make and model of suspect vehicle 1, but it was a Superdome-sized ballpark. It had been stretched to cover 5 full years of cars. A smart defense attorney could drive a fleet of Hyundais through a speculative gap that wide. And that wasn't all. There was further cause for hand-wringing in the aftermath of the FBI's vaulted forensic image analysis. Despite all the inventive manipulation of the pixels in the video footage of suspect vehicle 1, the analysis still couldn't come up with a legible shot of the license plate. They couldn't even offer a guess. They simply had no idea. Well, yeah, that view you couldn't get a license plate view. Even more vexing, there wasn't a single legible image of the driver. The Bureau wizards tried all sorts of photographic tricks to pull a face from the blur. In the end, however, the best they could decipher was a dark, murky shadow hovering over the steering wheel. And you can't slap handcuffs on a shadow. Well, no, you can't. Thank you all for being here. Hi, Michaela. Taiwan. Oh, I bet it's beautiful. I always get to the StreamYard like the perfect time. I see someone popping. So I appreciate everyone being here and listening to me read this new article that's come out from Howard Blum. I really, truly appreciate that because, that would take a lot. I'm trying to read it to you so we don't have to do the robot version. Also, if you guys wouldn't mind just hitting that like button, it really does help get the channel, the video out there. More people will come in. They'll enjoy the chat. If you've never chatted with us before, subscribe to the channel, chat with us. We don't bite. We're awfully friendly chats. I have it on subscriber only mode because I do just have 3 mods and I don't want to put the weight of the world on their shoulders with a crazy flowing chat. So that's why we do that. But if you decide you don't like the channel, you don't have to stay with us, but I'm sure you will. Okay, so here it says, Bad Blood. It says, to their credit, however, the tenacious Idaho police went ahead with what little they had. On November 25th, 12 days after the murders, the Moscow authorities, in a judiciously worded appeal, asked local authorities to be on the lookout for white Hyundai Elantras in the area. 4 long days passed inadvertently before the campus cops at Washington State University, the school just a 10-minute or so drive across the state line from the Idaho murder house, got around to hunting for the car. How can one explain such a lackadaisical, if not incompetent response? Perhaps the laid-back language of the advisory failed to communicate the urgency. Maybe it's because they were in a different state. I wonder if that could have been the difference. Even though the states are so close. Still, you didn't need to be Sherlock Holmes to deduce that a very significant game was finally afoot. However veiled the language, the car very possibly figured in the still unsolved murder of the 4 students in Washington State was home to nearly 30,000 other potential targets. Maybe this was just one is just one more unprofessional example of the deplorable sort of misconduct that in the recent past has shamed the department. In 2018, a Pullman police sergeant had his certification revoked following accusations that he had coerced a WSU co-ed into performing a sex act in exchange for his not arresting her for public intoxication. Gross. Okay. Hey, Margot. You're funny. Yes, please keep the family members in your prayers. Really, yeah. I mean, they've been through enough and they've been through even more just recently, I feel like. These are the two officers. It says Officer Daniel Tanego and Sergeant Curtis Whitman of the Washington State University campus police were the first to determine that Kohberger drove a Hyundai Elantra. So these two guys were the ones, I guess, that picked up the car. Yet, despite the snail's pace, at last a WSU cop did get around to checking out whether any white Hyundai Elantras were registered at the university. It was on November 29th, a particularly tranquil Tuesday night on campus since the university was in the midst of its Thanksgiving break, and at 12:28 a.m., not even a half hour into the start of his midnight to 8 a.m. Graveyard shift, Officer Daniel Tanego took advantage of his lull to catch up on a stack of paperwork. Near the top was the bulletin the Moscow Police Department had circulated. It might as well have been a ticking bomb. Oh, Lily, that's so sweet. Thank you. She said this is the safest place on the streets. It is. We try to keep it safe in here for everyone because it's rough. It is crazy out there on them YouTube streets. That really, really is. It really, really is. It says Tanego, people will tell you, was one of the good guys on the force. Hardworking, affable, a nighttime supervisor with a straggly professional, I don't know how to say that, goatee. He pulled in more than $70,000 a year, considerably more than many people on the school payroll who had doctorates. Yet that night he earned his pay. For only moments after he read the notice, he started tapping away at his computer, and presto, a name appeared on his screen. Bryan Kohberger, a graduate student living in a university apartment compound on Northeast Valley Road, owned a 2015 white Hyundai Elantra. Dutifully, Tanego passed the baton, to his late night patrol sergeant, Curtis Whitman. I had to talk that one out, didn't I? Whitman was an old guard campus cop who, according to many accounts, had been deeply shaken by the decertification of a fellow officer for allegedly extorting sex from a student. In the volatile aftermath, battle lines had been drawn between the cops and the students, and he was determined to do what he could to forge a reconciliation. Too much bad blood, he said, had been spilled by the force's all too common practice of issuing summons for chug why can I say that? Chug jugs? Chug jugs? Chug jugs. I don't know why. Wow. It was prohibited to carry open containers of alcohol in Pullman. Rather than hassling kids, he'd reveal, with a measure of paternal affection at a consultorial forum with angrily undergraduates, my favorite thing is to say hi to students. We want students to feel comfortable with our officers. And so Whitman got the word that there might be a killer on campus. He didn't waste any time tracking the vehicle down. At 12:58 a.m., precisely a half hour after Tanego had initially identified a possible owner of suspect vehicle 1, Whitman was staring through the nighttime darkness at a white Hyundai sitting in a graduate apartment complex parking lot. And the letters and numbers on the license plate were as distinct as those at the top of an eye exam chart. Okay. Now that they had the plate number to go with the car's owner's name, and later the same morning they had a Phase 2, Corporal Brett Payne, the 32-year-old former military policeman who, despite his relative youth and short time on the force, had been handpicked by Moscow Police Chief James Fry to lead the quadruple murder investigation, stared at a screenshot of Kohberger's driver's license photograph. With mounting excitement, Payne ticked off all of the similarities between Kohberger and the intruder, whom a surviving roommate had briefly seen in the King Road house on the night of the murders. White male, check. 6 feet, check. 185 pounds, check. And the clincher, Kohberger, he decided, possessed bushy eyebrows, just as the witness had described. Yet for all their progress, there was no getting around the dismal reality that the cops were still clutching at straws. Having a likely suspect was not the same as having someone dead to rights. Go into court with this sort of inconclusive supporting evidence and they'd never get an arrest warrant, especially in a high-profile murder case with the unnerving possibility of a death sentence hanging in the balance, especially if the judge drove a Hyundai Elantra, or for that matter, had bushy eyebrows. I guess that's true. Okay, if you guys don't mind hitting that like button, we got 159 people in here. We have 70 likes. We can do it. We can do it. We can do way better than that. I got faith in us. This was November 13th that this happened. This was, no, you're right. No, the end of November. You're right. Heels. Yeah. End of November. I was going to see like what was going on in the chat. Make sure everyone's okay. They do take 40%. Little YouTube, I know, I'm like, why do I have to pay you to be here that much? Like, I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot. But yeah, so hit that like button, it's free. It's free to do that. So when creators say like they don't make much money on their videos, we don't. But we don't do it for the, if you do it for the, if you're here for the money, then you might want to take a seat. I said in the beginning, I just want to buy Vincent a house. I know that's a lot of money, but that's what I want to do. Even though he would be like, I will buy you a house. Where would you want to live? But I want to buy him one. He's just done so much. Did I read this part? Nope. Yeah, I did. Okay. We're down here. We're at a wide net. I'm going to check to see where we're at. Wide net. Jeez Louise, guys. Okay, I'm going to read a little quicker. If I can. Okay. But they did have enough to take the next, and I'm just gonna make this. If I don't know the word, if it's too big and it's too stupid because this guy decides to put in words that we're gonna have to look them up anyway. We're just gonna skip over them. I'm just gonna make sure it makes sense though. But they did not have enough to take the next small step. And now at least they knew where they wanted to go. Payne, therefore, consciously, soldiered on. He had a name which led him to a cell phone number of Kohberger. On December 23rd, armed with a search warrant, he obtained the phone call records for the days surrounding the murder. But the real treasure the cops wanted to believe were the locations of the relevant cell phone towers. Every step you take, every move you make, they're watching you. And filming it all the way. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to laugh there, but I'm going to turn my camera on. I wish I had it in here. I have a picture. It's a doggy picture. And it's like a framed, I don't know. And it says every step you take, every bite you take or something like that. Or like, I'll be watching you. It's like every like step you take, every bite you take. Yeah. I'll be watching you. And it's a picture of a dog. So when I hear that, it made me laugh, made me laugh. Because it made me think of that. It makes me think of this. It's the song, but yeah. But they like made it into a dog picture for me. And then he put it into his thing. So it made me laugh. And I don't know why I didn't hear that. I read this. I listened to this earlier. I don't remember hearing that part. It says, enter, although his name has not been officially disclosed, Benjamin Dean, an FBI special agent on the Salt Lake City Field Office Cellular Analysis Survey Team. He took the cell phone tower records that had stored the pings from Kohberger's phone and came up with an itinerary of the suspect's travels before and after the murders that night. Next, the Moscow cops meticulously plotted all the comings and goings on a series of maps. At a glance, the new evidence seemed deeply incriminating. Kohberger was placed near the King Road house immediately before the murder and later hightailing it away from the scene of the crime in the pre-dawn aftermath. However, when examined closely, it turned out that the maps had been sketched with a swirling, impernistic CYT Wombly-ish hand rather than with a choreographer's rigor. What went deliberately unmentioned when the police shared their handiwork with the public was that the cell phone towers cast a wide net. Their range can be as broad as 14 miles, and in a cozy town like Moscow, that takes in a lot of territory. It's more wishful thinking than solid detective work to put Kohberger's phone at a precise spot at a certain time. Being in the vicinity is not the same as being in the exact address. Just ask anyone whose Amazon delivery wound up at a neighbor's or any of the combative defense attorneys who succeeded in convincing courts to question the reliability and accuracy of the FBI's attempts to map the signal footprints cast by cell phone towers. And I've never seen this picture before, so I don't know if you guys have, but I didn't know that the water tower was so, like you could prevalent, like you could see it from up here if you were standing up above their house. Can you see it in the upper right? Crazy, huh? It's a beautiful, I mean, I bet it was beautiful to see, like be able to see that, going to the school. It says, and so the last Christmas loomed, the hunters' mood was anything but merry. They felt they had their man, but at the same galling time, he was beyond their reach, literally. Kohberger had gotten behind the wheel of his white Hyundai and driven across the country to Albrightsville, Pennsylvania, and all they could do was watch him peel off into the distance. I bet with a FBI surveillance task force following covertly behind. Kohberger had headed home for the holidays while the authorities' own Christmases would be spent ruminating about the suspect who had slipped through their grasp. If a few of the Moscow cops would moan to their buddies, Kohberger was laughing at them, taunting their ineptitude. Was the criminal justice student in fact smarter than they were? A few dared to wonder. Oh, okay, Pamela. Oh, you've been a member for a month. Seems like you've been a member longer than that. You've been here with us longer than that. Well, I hope that you're feeling better today, and I hope that your day's a little better. Where was we at? Right here. But all was not lost. The cops did have one ace hidden up their sleeves. The killer had made an amateur mistake. A tan leather knife sheath had been left at the scene of the crime. It had been found on the third-floor room on the bed where the blood-splattered bodies of Madison Mogan and Kaylee Gonzalez lay. At first, the authorities had exultated. This was the break they'd been hoping for. The Idaho State Police Forensic Service and Meriden had quickly gone to work, and they hit the jackpot. Male DNA had been left on the button snap of the knife sheath. Now we got him. The cops and the scientists rejoiced. How did they know they did that? Once again, they were wrong. Once again, they were too quick to off the mark. The consumer DNA kits that are sold in your local CVS need about 750 to 1,000 nanograms to find out all they need to know about you. That's not much. It's smaller than a speck of floating dust and a whole lot less substantial. A single nanogram is as heavy as a breeze. It weighs a few trillionths of a pound. There's nothing to it. But the crime scene often contained a whole lot less DNA than that. The forensic teams will routinely wind up with only 100 or so nanograms of DNA. Yet scientists can nevertheless work their magic and use even this microscopic amount of genetic evidence to nail the criminal. The problem, however, was the DNA on the knife sheath. Authorities would coincide on background was less than 100 nanograms, a whole lot less, a mere fraction, in fact, of a single nanogram. Nothing more than just a handful of microscopic size cells. In total, according to knowledgeable sources, about 20 cells. Maybe they whispered even fewer. The DNA sample was as small as a fragment of a speck balanced on the head of a tiny pin. And it had the Iowa crime lab stiped. It was a scientific challenge beyond their capabilities. Not only Orthum's and its labs equipped with a costly NovaSec 6000. I guess that's the sort of machine that you need. I was on mute. Hey, Tammy. And if you're listening, Miss Kelly, I will write you back. Oh, man, Miss Kelly wrote me yesterday. I forgot to write her back. And she was listening to the live, too. I put her name down. If I write it down, I'll do it. I sometimes forget. I'm gonna turn my camera off because I was reading. I just was just reading with you guys on there. Sorry, 'cause sometimes I like left to look up on the screen a lot, and some people don't realize. If you don't know, I have one eye. I'm blind in one, so your girl's working with one. So I think I do pretty good. I know, right? And now you just made me hungry for pretzels. They're literally my favorite food. If you ask anyone in the world, I could live off pretzels, but it does. Yeah, and I did put it's on the members only. I did do a members only post today, and I put the preliminary, or not the preliminary, I'm sorry, the Zoom info on there for you guys. For I thought I had the paper here for the 22nd. So if you guys want to watch it, it'll be there. Because I can't stream it, but we can watch it and we can do a chat. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm not sure where we were. We're here. We're right here. Okay, it says, thanks, Summer. Some scientists take pride in their lofty detachment. They prefer to muse on big, eternal mysteries, not muck through sordid, all too human events. At Orthum, through a gleaming, cutting-edge genetics laboratory in a suburban, high-tech corridor just north of Houston, Texas, there's a shared sense of mission among the 24 or so assembled lab geeks. They've embarked on a good doers crusade that they'll tell you is tactically embodied in the company's esoteric monarch. I don't know why he's being weird to me for, but I guess they're the ones that own it. Yeah, they're the founders. So Orthum is the lab in Texas. So remember when he was coming out and he was saying that this was sent to a lab in Texas, and we were like, well, how does he know? Well, maybe he does know, but I guess this is the lab that he's saying that it was sent to. And I think it was sent to an outside lab because they couldn't do the genetic testing at the Idaho crime lab. I think they found the DNA, they just couldn't do the actual testing, so. Orthum was the name of the impeccable black rock wall that protected Minas Triumph, a capital city in the imagined universe that comes to life in The Lord of the Rings. And the scientists chose the nerdy Tolkien reference to drive home their commitment to the technological wall they're building, a barrier that will protect a real world by helping to identify the violent criminals lurking undetected in its midst. Orthum scientists are forensic detectives. Yet it is a mission that needed a capital and lots of it. Without that seed of money, the 4-story lab, the multi-million-dollar equipment, and the team of highly accomplished experts might never have come together. And the secrets hidden in the speck of DNA on the tab of the knife sheath found in the Idaho murder house might forever have remained an unfathomable mystery. I'll say this right now. I don't care that my tax dollars are being sent for labs and DNA work. Nope, send them all day. Send them all day. Don't send my tax money to Letitia Stauch's trial. How about that? But this it could go to. This I'm cool with. This I'm cool with. Someone had the nerve to get on my Twitter the other day, just as a side note, when I said I couldn't believe like we didn't have a verdict yesterday. I didn't say anything. I just said I can't believe what I just saw. And someone was like, drama, you can't wait a few more days. Me? I was like, me? No, not me. Al, Landon, Lena, the whole family. I said, those are the people that matter, not me. I was just mad about it. I was mad. I'm still mad. Me and Eddie's going to be talking about this, I think, for a while. We're going to be talking about Letitia, I think, for a while, even after she's sentenced. Oh no, so Tammy, they did. So the defense did subpoena, well, they did send her, a motion, but now they're going to end up coming to her. So she doesn't have to come back to Idaho yet. And I think personally that I think that this is just me from things, just like knowing the justice system a little bit that I do. I think that she knows that she's probably going to have to testify in the trial, and she probably figures that she doesn't really even have any information that she thinks like is worth anything. So that's why she didn't want to have to make 2 trips back to back like that. And because I think her lawyers told her, why would you have to do that? Like, just make it one motion. They can come and they can talk to you, or you can go up there and talk to them one time, but don't do both. Like, you know what I mean? You don't have to do both. That's how I kind of took it. But I don't know. Let's see where we're at. So then one starting point on the path that ultimately led in its meandering way to the arrest of Bryan Kohberger can be traced to John Burbank, a self-made billionaire venture capitalist, writing a big check about 4 years ago to the company. Burbank put in $2 million of his own funds and raised another $2 million from sources, as he breezily told me, because I was intrigued by the company's mission. Okay, that didn't need to be put in there, but whatever. Kohberger had, or we'll just read this. Yet how Burbank, the founder of Passport Capital, a San Francisco-based hedge fund with $4 billion under management, first heard about Orthum is another tale. His source was Charles Johnson, another tech investor. And once the crusading husband and wife scientists who were the company's founders learned of Johnson's background, it reportedly filed them with pangs of despair. Well, thank you, Pamela, for sending me a super sticker. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'll grab my drink real quick. I think I'm here by myself, actually. I am. Vincent had to go to Columbus, so he's about an hour away. So you guys are keeping me company. Someone being rude? Who's being rude? Do I need to go back up? I'm like over here like reading. I don't know if I could read that high up, but let me know, because I was like, I'll stop the chat. You know me. I'll stop something if I need to. Where are we at? As Johnson, now 34, told me in the story, he was in the midst of a painful divorce and had fled from his marital home in San Francisco to the Woodlands because he read it was a great place to live. It was while in this bucolic Houston suburb that he met Orthum's founder, Doctors David and Kristen Middleman. And over several conversations, Johnson grew intrigued with the unique genetic technology the company was using to help solve cold cases. The two scientists, he learned, had even larger ambitions. They had dreams of putting together a fully staffed lab and buying this sort of gene sequencing equipment such as pricey Novasec 6000 that would allow them to unravel the spool of genes that could connect the dots in decades-old and often abandoned mysteries. They would free innocents who had been wrongfully convicted, and they would help track down the actual criminals. Only they need money to make their dreams a reality. Johnson, he said, subsequently met up with the Middlemans again in San Francisco, and after a long dinner volunteered to introduce him to his friend John Burbank. That's John Burbank. He looks like he's a billionaire. I mean, he does. Hey, Jan. I just saw your name. What happened? Oh, I did. She said I did shop and place my order. Did you just place a new order, Jan? Today? I'm like, wait, did I send out Jan out an order? I've been sending out so many orders. It's been nice. It's been so great. It is. It makes me feel so good whenever, like, my boutique's doing good, and it's like you guys are just going through, like, doing both of my adventures with me. Okay. Let me see. You know what I haven't even done in a long time? Sorry that I'm interrupting myself because I'm freaking ADHD and I can't get through this to save my life, right? I was going to see what you got real quick because I'm curious. It's a cute shop. Did you get a candle or something? Oh, you got some soap bags. Oh, look at you. Oh, there goes my dog. Yes, I will send that out tomorrow for you, Jan. Thank you so much, Jan. That's so sweet. I'll have to show you guys my actual, like, boutique sometime. We went over there one time for members only, and then we didn't do that again, like, ever. We did it one time, but it's so hard to take my lights and stuff over. But I think I'm going to do that for my next live. Wizard Walt said, I understand it has touch DNA as the least reliable kind as it can easily be carried and transferred. Yeah, I think that it can. I think it's just the placement of it is going to be hard to get around. Like, being on that button, that button, because it only makes sense to, I mean, in my head, if it was me, put the knife in my sheath, button it, and then put my gloves on. I don't think I would have the forethought to put my gloves on first. So we're gonna get back to talking about this guy that like he's the one that's like putting the money for the nano lab. But I don't even know why it matters in this case, but we're gonna read about it. It was a marriage made in startup heaven for a while. Burbank provided the checks and offered a veteran businessman's shrewd advice to the company, and Johnson received a potentially lucrative chunk of stock for playing middleman to the middlemans. It was only later that the scientists found out more about the man who had brokered the deal. The banner headline above a hard-hitting article in the Boston Globe about Johnson was dismaying enough. A race-baiting troll was found acceptance in Trump's D.C., but the disclosures were more distressing. He argued that black people are dumber than white people, questioned whether 6 million Jews died in the Holocaust, was banned from Twitter for threatening a Black Lives Matter activist, and posed making a white power sign while standing next to white supremacist leader Richard Spencer, and now Johnson was a fairly significant stockholder in their idealistic, justice-driven creation, a company where key scientists had relatives who had died in the Holocaust. Well, that's not good. Oh, has she on Web Sleuths? I need to look them up. I need to add them. I think I saw them today. That would be a nice interview. Yeah, Heels. I'd like to have me on an interview. Well, I like CC more. I've always seen her whenever it's come to like genealogy and then going back and just anything with genealogy. I've always just remembered CC Moore. She's the blonde with the glasses. And I always thought she was like she might be the head of the lab. These are just the owners, but I thought she was like the owner. But I guess not. It says, when I met with Johnson for lunch, he offered apologies for his past beliefs. I've evolved, he explained with a tears constriction. But as the long lunch continued, he revealed that many of his prior assertions had actually been role-playing. He's been acting under orders from intelligence agencies, and he is dutifully constructing okay, I can't even say it. Identity. I don't know why I can't say it. I sent it. I can think it in my head and I can't say it out my mouth. Cover identity. And it was with the knowledge and approval of these clandestine organizations, he said that he'd meet up with Julian Assange in London and now assisted companies providing military equipment to the Ukrainian forces. In fact, his varied activities in the shadows while fighting for the national interest has made him, he claimed, a marked man. He has advised to cancel a proposed business trip to London because M15 couldn't guarantee his safety. The Russian FSB, as well as Israel Mossad, are out to get me, he confided with a daring do fatalism. Is this the same guy up here in the picture? Well, just wondering. I was wanted to see what they look like. And then with no less impassioned sincerity, he quickly said, I also feel very proud that I have helped set in motion the events that led to the arrest of Bryan Kohberger. You can read it with me, Eddie. I do, Pamela. What's going on with the Mendez brothers? Because I heard that there's like a new evidence maybe out that it's going to get them out of jail or prison, something like that. I saw that. And I was like, ugh. Absolutely. I'm going to write that down too. Because I always forget stuff when I get off the live. And I heard they're really good. They have like a website too, don't they? That's what I said the other day about people or I said people leaving Kelly D the channel after I like did like I didn't do a rant. I just said what I wanted to say because somebody came in my channel and I didn't address it at the time. And so when I went to address it, I lost like 3 subscribers. I was freaking. I was like, 3 subscribers, no. And then I was like, wait, that's the trash taking itself out. And then I gained like that night over 100. So I was like, huh, how about that? How about that? And I got an apology from that creator too. So I'll take it. And that is indeed quite feasibly one starting point for the path that led to the arrest of a man alleged to have brutally murdered the 4 students. However, a few law enforcement figures close to the events believe that the final tightening of the investigative knots around Kohberger had its true beginnings in September 2014. It was on a bright morning back then that a kayaker energetically paddling down the fast-moving waters on the Snake River spotted an object floating limply in the distance beneath the Perry Bridge in Jerome, Idaho. Curious, he broke course to investigate and discovered a woman's body. Okay. Right there, why are we going there? Why is he going back to 2014 when Kohberger didn't even live in the state in 2014? Okay, I don't know where he's going with this. I was listening beforehand, and I don't know where he was going with this. For some reason, I don't remember this part. So let's just see. It says he broke course to investigate and discovered a woman's body. Over the next 4 years, investigators doggedly followed a long and windy trail in an attempt to figure out who the woman had been and what had happened to her. They combed the area, checked local restaurants, motels, bus depots, and taxi services. Photos of what remained of the dead woman's face, as well as her fingerprints and DNA samples, were run through national databases. 14 states reached out to the Idaho State Police, thinking the Jane Doe matched descriptions of missing persons they were pursuing. All the feverish detective work, however, led nowhere. In August 2020, the perplexed investigators finally threw up their hands in despair. The case was officially classified inactive, its voluminous evidence folder stuffed into one of the many dusty file drawers that were the burial grounds of the frigidly cold cases. But then there was, in relatively rapid succession, a flurry of she's going to say this for us. Fortuitous and previously unimaginable events. For starters, Matthew Gamet, the director of Idaho State Police Forensic Service Laboratory, a hands-on crime scene investigator who was also a scientist with a master in microbiology, as well as someone who had done a fair share of DNA-driven investigations, applied for and won a $3 million grant from the Federal Bureau of Justice Assistance to fund genetic genealogy testing to solve unsolved cases. Spurred on by this windfall of government dollars, Idaho officials announced that the state was seeking bids from private companies that had expertise in advanced forensic testing. In July 2021, Orthum won the contract, and one of the first seemingly dead-end cases Gamet sent their way was the mystery of the identity of the female corpse. The coroner had ruled suicide as the cause of death that had been found drifting 7 years earlier in the Snake River. Orthum solved the mystery. Okay. Actually, a large part of the credit belonged to the company's astonishing Novasec 6000 system, and I hope I'm saying that right, probably not, which was able to sequence the scant amount of DNA from the corpse that had been preserved over the years into a picture that told a clear genealogical story. And the story led police investigators to a name, that of a woman who had gone missing nearly a decade ago from her home in San Diego. Case closed. Then why did he say something about Kohberger up there? And 4 months later, that unlikely success got Gamet thinking, what if Orthum could work its magic not just on cold cases, but also on a very hot one? A case whose solution might very well be embedded in the microscopic DNA left on the button snap of a knife sheath. But no sooner had this wishful possibility excitedly begun to take hold than it was dismissed. Kohberger, they had discovered to their consternation, was in none of the readily accessible public DNA databases. Even if Orthum could, miracle of miracles, manage to chart a genetic schematic form, the scant substance on the button snap, there would be no way to connect it directly to the suspect. Then Gamut had a eureka moment, and a new path suddenly became clear. And this is him, I believe. This is the guy that this is Brian Knoll. He found Bryan Kohberger's trash. He's the one that found the genetic material used to connect the DNA in the knife sheath. He looks really young. But he's the one that did it. Some cases stay with you. Cops will often admit you can't let them go. They ride shotgun on your thoughts. For Pennsylvania State Trooper Brian Knoll, it was the case of Beth Doe. That was what Knoll and his buddies on the Criminal Investigations Unit called the grisly murder mystery that had frustrated the authorities for over 40 years. Just days before Christmas 1976, 3 suitcases had been tossed off a bridge that spanned the Lehigh River in Whitehaven, Pennsylvania. They missed the water, however, and landed on the grassy shoulder running along nearby Royal Interstate 80. And then the cops opened them up, and they found pieces of a dismembered female body. The victim, an autopsy showed, had been sexually assaulted, strangled, and then shot in the neck. And she had been carrying a 9-month-old female fetus. Trooper Knoll was determined to discover the victim's identity, and then he would catch the killer. Just as he strongly felt needed to be done. Someone out there knows who she is, he told reporters, and there is always hope that someone will come forward with information. Yet for all of his years of hoping as well as chasing down leads, Knoll got nowhere. Then in November 2020, DNA extracted from Beth Doe's skeletal remains were sent to Orthum's lab in Texas. It was said one member of the Pennsylvania Criminal Investigations Unit, a Hail Mary pass. We didn't have much hope, but Orthum's scientists once again did the impossible. A DNA match enabled detectives to identify the butchered woman. And then, despite all the decades that had passed, the alleged killer, a man who had been the victim's live-in boyfriend at the time, was arrested. He is out on bail and he awaits trial. At last, Detective Knoll felt the murder had been avenged. And it was thanks largely to a bunch of science geeks in the suburbs of Houston. 2 years later, on a cold December night, just 2 days after the last Christmas, Knoll was once again working hand in hand with the Orthum scientist. Only he didn't know it. He simply focused on his covert mission, stealing garbage. I just think I could just imagine two cops, like, I could just picture like two big guys too. I don't know why, and he's not even a big guy, but I can just picture these two big guys trying to sneak and get this garbage. Like, you run, go get the garbage, go get Bryan Kohberger's garbage. I wonder what they actually took, like, because he had a lot of water bottles in his car. So I'm thinking maybe he was hoarding the water bottles there. But he could have just had water bottles in his car too. It says, it became known to the WAGs in Troop N, the state troopers who were running the surveillance op targeting Bryan Kohberger as he spent Christmas with his parents, as the great trash robbery. And the target was the neatly bagged detritus that had been deposited in the bins outside the squat, white 2-story home with its faded brown shutters where the Kohberger's family lived in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania. In the dead of night, Knoll, as if on cat's feet, tiptoed in and made off with his treasure trove. Later the same day, a special FedEx package depictively marked medical material made its way to the Orthum lab. The scientists quickly went to work. They extracted promising material from the trash they received. With the Novasec, I don't know if that's how you say it.
Novasec.
Yeah, 6,000, geared up. They hurriedly plotted specific genetic sequences. And when they shared the information with the Idaho Crime Lab about 1,800 miles up north, alarm bells began ringing, just as Matthew Gamut, the director of the lab, had hoped. Everybody doing okay? I'm going to grab a drink really quick. I wish it was like, no, I don't wish it was colder, but because then I would want a hot drink. But I can't drink hot things when it's hot out. just can't do that. It's not even hot in here, though. Where was we at? Okay. It says, it no longer mattered that they had previously drawn a blank trying to make a link between the DNA on the knife sheath button and Bryan Kohberger. They had succeeded in doing the next best thing. They were convinced that was good enough. They had matched the speck of DNA recovered from the murder house to the DNA embedded in the trash of Michael Kohberger, the suspect's father. And while moralists might find biblical authority for the argument that the father was not responsible for his son's alleged sins, the more practical geneticists have found an indisputable link. At least 99.9998% of the male population would be expected to be excluded from the possibility of being the suspect's biological father. QED, the DNA on the knife sheath button belonged, the Idaho authorities asserted, to Michael Kohberger's son, Bryan. I mean, unless he's got another son out there. Bum, bum, bum. What if that happened, you know? The case now had a seemingly unsplittable atom at its core. It could at last charge forward. On December 29th, an Idaho magistrate read a request for an arrest warrant to be issued for Bryan Kohberger. It was signed with accuracy. And the next day at about 1:30 a.m., Trooper Knoll, along with a tough guy team of state SWAT officers, stormed in to make the arrest. Look at those looks. He's got his father's face. What were they drinking? Maybe those are the water bottles that was in his car. Kohberger, a Monroe, Pennsylvania, County, Pennsylvania assistant director. Let me start over. That was really bad. Kohberger, a Monroe County, Pennsylvania assistant district attorney, informed reporters was found awake in the kitchen area, dressed in shorts and a shirt, wearing latex medical type gloves, and apparently was taking his personal trash and putting it into separate Ziploc baggies. In the days that followed, Kohberger's legal aid attorney would vehemently proclaim his client's innocence. And Kohberger will have a chance to enter his plea at a hearing that starts on June 26th in Moscow, Idaho. Yet it is no vaulting to speculate, suspicion to speculate that at the unnerving moment when the police charged in as he sorted his trash with cunning care into individual plastic bags, Bryan Kohberger, doctoral candidate in criminology, experienced the profoundly disturbing realization that he was not as gifted as a student as he believed. Oh, thanks for gifting. Eddie, that's so sweet. Yeah, so, do you think that's when he realized that he wasn't as smart as he thought? Last words, it says. There's someone here. Let me see how much. Oh, look at that. We only got like a paragraph to go, guys. We almost there. There's someone here. 3 short words, a court declarative sentence, yet filled it can all too easily be imagined with an immensity of apprehension. I shouldn't be allowed to read. Perhaps even an intimidation of the horror that was yet to come. There were the last words that, according to the Moscow police, Dylan Mortensen, one of the 2 surviving roommates, had heard Kaylee Gonzalez speak in the helter-skelter moments before her death. I am replaying this fearful testament in my mind as I stand transfixed outside the King Road house as the night comes falling on a wintry day. I look out into the darkness, and the volumes implicate in those few words reverberate through my imagination. It's eerie. It's as if the furies that were set loose in those fateful pre-dawn moments are still swirling about. At once I walk away, heading down the icy street and leaving the house behind. The instant passes. The echoing sentence slides away, slipping off to be stored deep in the recesses of my reporter's memory. And it stays there, not forgotten yet inert. Then, without warning, the word returns, catching me by surprise. And it's months later, a new fresh spring, and this time the night has come falling on a verdant corner of Pennsylvania countryside, and I'm standing outside the crime scene house, that's just a stone's throw away from the campus of DeSales University. When Bryan Kohberger was a grad student here, one of his professors was Dr. Catherine Ramsland. She's a celebrated forensic psychologist and a prolific author. One of the required texts in her course was her own book, Inside the Minds of Serial Killers, Why They Kill. It is a grim yet fascinating work filled with case studies that give support to the professor's earnest wisdom. She's smart. Make the kids buy her book every year when they come to her class. Hell yeah, you'll get some copies sold that way. She's a smart lady. Smart lady. Says, let's see. Fantasy, she writes with authority, also builds an appetite to experience the real thing. Standing on a patch of grass, staring into the dark stone house, I can picture an impressionable student walking through an interior stage with corpses and blood, and the warning in Ramsland's cautionary logic is driven home. And I find myself measuring an increasingly rage-filled journey that hardened a spirit until its secret impulses might very well have led him into the deep shadows of a house on the other side of the country, where a voice blurted out with a sudden awful comprehension, "There's someone here." Well, the end of that was good. Woo! Y'all, I need a drink after that. And I don't even drink. I don't even drink and I need a drink. Don't even drink. No, that was a long one. The first one that we went over was 29 minutes. This one was like 26 or something. I don't know how we did that. But we did it. You're welcome. Thanks for staying and sticking with me through all of that, because that was a lot of reading. But we did it. We did it. Don't we love it when we do stuff like that? Do you guys remember? Summer was here. When we had the robot, there was only like 5 of you. So I mean, I don't blame you for not being here, but we literally listened through the whole, we thought it was Nancy Grace. Okay, so Nancy Grace did us dirty one time, so we're going to forgive her, but we thought it was her going through the PCA, and it wasn't. It was a robot, like an actual, like a robotic voice, like the one I was like playing, like, oh, like I'll play this. We'll do like this part. It sounded like something like this.
Standing on a patch of grass staring into the dark stone house.
It was terrible. It was terrible. We listened to it though. It was like so much. It was so much. And we all sat here and listened to it. And I was like, okay, I think I gave out like a bunch of memberships or something. I was so bored. I was like, what else can we do? What else can we do? But that was horrible. But I didn't realize that you could do that. So if you guys didn't know, if you ever need something read to you, you can just like, I mean, you guys probably know this, but you can just highlight the whole page and then go to speech and then hit start speaking, and it'll speak out the whole page. Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good stuff. I didn't know that. Let's see, what else do we have going on? Oh yeah, I was going to show you guys that. Okay, let's see. I was trying to see if I had this right. Oh, it's because they're all blown up. Okay. Maybe I'll save that. We'll do that next time. Because I did a lot of reading tonight. That was a lot of reading though. I think that's all I really have. Let me check, make sure there's nothing else out there. So tomorrow, Letitia goes, hopefully we have a verdict. I don't know what's going on and why we don't. I really don't know why we don't have a verdict. I'm anxious about this stupid jury. I'm anxious about this jury tomorrow. I think there is someone on here that's going, we should think of her mental health. And it's not one of those cases. It's like, have you been not here the whole time? Have you not been here this whole 6-8 weeks? Because I have. I mean, she's guilty of R wording and M wording in like 14 different ways. Ooh, I just can't handle her. I don't like her. I don't like her. I just don't. I I don't like her that much. Well, that's okay, Mary Beth. If you can't type, I can't talk hardly, so we're good. Actually, let me text Vincent and see where he's at. We'll see how long that happened. Oh, he left 51 minutes ago. Oh, and then I just saw where your order was. It was on my phone if I would have looked at my phone. Oh, yeah. I'll have to tell you that in a minute. Well, thank you. Yes, Tammy. I'm so glad you were here. I wish I could talk to you more. Tell the grandbabies hello, hi, hug them, kiss them. Say Tanya said, hey, it's been a while. I miss them. I think it was Tammy's grandbaby. I think it was your grandson. Was it your nephew or your grandson? It was her grandson. He used to show up in my lives, and he'd be the only one in here. Guys, I had nobody. It was a time in my life where I didn't have a single person in my life. But you bet, yeah, her grandson would be in here. He'd be waiting. And it was like the cutest. Because he's younger, so like, we would chit chat like cute stuff before we talked murder stuff. But it made me feel good because, even though he was only in here probably because like I'm a girl or something, he still came. Like I thought it was cute. It made me feel good, so he didn't even realize he did that for somebody. So exactly. They had less evidence on Alec Murdaugh. So what's the holdup with Letitia? I don't know what the holdup is. I just don't get it. Did you go to a wedding, Rich? This weekend? Oh. I see you there, Arlene. I'm just getting there. Oh, did he? On his way to Pennsylvania, he used his left hand to give his license to Ellie over the passenger side. He writes funny though too. Like he writes like he's left-handed. Like people that are left-handed, they'll write kind of like inward or something. He does that. She said, I have a ratchet grandson. Now you tell him to be good. Tell him to be good. Or I'll come over there. I will. No way, Arlene. Arlene used to come in my chat and I would have a full house in here and she said, go Eagles. Or go Philly. I'm like, oh, what's she saying? You'd always get me. I think they're a smart jury. Maybe they just needed a little more time. I don't know. Well, I don't know what you can need. Hold on one second. I'm going to grab another drink. And I'm going to text Vincent really quick, see where he's at, see how long I have. Okay, I'm back. Let me just see where he is. Oh, I'm going to show you guys something. I want to get your guys' green thumb. Oh, is Scorpelina in here? I need a green thumb. Green thumb person. So, I bet you guys would know. Let me see. How in the hell? Okay. Hey, there she is. Okay. Let me send this to my MacBook because I creep myself out with plants. I don't do plants. I do greenery, but that's about it. Usually it's fake. Fake greenery. Open with, okay. So this tree back here, let's see. Whoopsie. You can't even see it. Okay. So, sorry, guys. My side of my eyes is itching really bad. Oh, you're welcome, Legendary. Thank you for coming and hanging out. I couldn't hardly see the chat going through the reading. I can't read and see the chat at the same time. But I saw you was in here. I appreciate that. And I thought you said you were going to did you say something about getting Vincent a beer? I read that and it made me chuckle, and then I forgot to mention it. I forgot to say something about it. Because Vincent would drink one sip of a beer. Let's grab a beer, Vincent. Yeah. He'd take one sip and his face turns red. He's funny. Who's Eddie? So I have a tree back here. And you can't really see it. You kind of can't. Look how much it burns from the... God, that looks bad from my heating wand. But this tree, it's just like... kind of like a Christmas tree. You guys have seen it before in my old videos. Let me see. Oh, shoot. I'm going to try to find this. I could just take a picture of it, the tree, real quick. Let's go. Let's go back in time. No, that's not going to be one. Here we go. Well, you can't see it. It's not good. Okay. Well, you can see it. It's over here in the corner. But that's not the... But, okay. So, it's just a tree. I don't know how to explain it. It looks like a Christmas tree. I got it for Christmas because I had a little Christmas tree. And me and Vincent are extra. We're extra people. So, we went out and got like a pine tree. And that's what I thought it was. But it's not... It's like a leafy pine. I don't know how to explain it. Oh, have a good night, Wizard. Yeah, come back and see us. Yeah, I saw that. I saw you were new. We're here every night, usually 8:15, but we're gonna be here tomorrow morning-ish tomorrow, hopefully afternoon for Letitia Stouck's. She's gonna go to jail. She's gonna go to prison. We're gonna listen to her sentencing tomorrow. So today I'm looking in this tree. I watered it the other day. I gave it a crap ton of water, more water than I've ever given it. All of a sudden today I'm looking in it and I swear to you, there is a mushroom growing in my tree. I'm going to show you a picture of this. How does this happen? And how does this happen? Like, why is this not sharing? Let me see. It's because I had to put it on there. That's why. Look at this thing, guys. 2 mushrooms. What are those? Are those mushrooms? Scorpelina, and how did that happen? This tree was like dying, I thought. I thought it was starting to die. But then this happened. So I can't kill things. So I guess it's a mushroom tree now. My porch, I can't even go out and enjoy my balcony right now because a bird has, they built a nest in my blinds. I have like those blinds that go down and I can't move it and I can't bother them. They're there now. They live there. We're just paying extra for them. It's just from your soil, no biggie. Okay. Oh, so it does that? Oh, so I was have to say the tree is, I don't have a very good picture of it. Because it used to be over here behind this chair. I don't know what, we bought it at Sam's Club one night. Vincent crawled up to the top shelf to get it down too. I was like, I want that one up there. So it doesn't, I don't think so. I don't think it needs a bigger plot. It just kind of acts like it's, I don't know. I want to kind of put it outside, but I don't want to shock it. You think I should put it outside a little? It's common in potted plants to get mushrooms. Oh, I don't like mushrooms. I don't like the way they look. I don't like the way they feel. I'm weird about stuff, guys. I'm weird. I'm like, I eat like a kid. If it's like chicken nuggets and french fries, I'm there. I'm there for it all day. I'm weird about bugs and every kind of bug and and even like plants and stuff kind of creep me out sometimes. I don't know. I'm a big chicken over here. Pull them out. No, Teresa, I don't want to touch them. Touch them. Can you eat them? Will they give me high? I'll be over here munching on them. It's good soil. I'm just gonna leave it there. Although die eventually. Oh, I'm gonna leave them. Yeah, I mean they're dying on their own. I ain't killing them unless Vincent wants them. Do not eat them. You know I'm not gonna eat them. My parents used to go mushroom hunting, but I didn't know if that was the same kind. Like a European cypress tree. You might be right. See what that looks like. Bet I could take a picture of it. It's almost like that, but it's more fluffier. Let me take a picture on my phone. Hold on. I gotta move the light over there. Okay, I got it. Let's do this one. My tree doesn't stand straight up like that. Mine's like it almost looks like someone sat on it. It's a really funky looking one. But it's really cool. That's why I liked it. I don't think it's dying though, now that I'm looking at it. I think it just needs some love. So what do I do with this thing? How do I keep it? How do I keep it alive? Because I don't want it to die. It's been doing good. Really, you have wild mushrooms, Mountain Mama? My parents used to mushroom hunt. You know, I would never, I couldn't do it. I couldn't triple mushrooms or anything like that, no. I have too much of an anxiety. So like, because I put a bunch of water in it, but let me know what I need to do. Should I give it to like, should I get like a light for it? Like a garden light bulb? That's what my mom used to have. I don't know. We have like a money tree or something too, bamboo or something. I forget. We're not good with trees. Okay. I do let this light in over here. Like there's a, oh, my camera's not on. What's that? I thought my camera's on. I have like a window right here that I like let it open. Why did my arm look darker? Oh, it looked like I had like something on there. Oh, yeah, I have one of those Mike Jetson. Now, come on. I have one of those little spritzers. I got two of them. They were too expensive. That's what they were. And they were from a store that I used to work at. And they're like spritzers for the little flowers, like for the plant leaves. So I have a couple of them. I use them as decorations. But yeah, I need to spritz the leaves. You're right. I'm going to take it outside. And I didn't do anything to it. It just looks like that. It looked like that when I got it, except for like this little thing is hanging. This little guy's hanging. That one needs to be pulled. It does look bad on that. This front one looks bad, but the rest of them isn't bad. I water them. I don't know what to do with them. Maybe I should turn it, give it light. It doesn't get the straight sun, so maybe I should put it outside for like half the day. See, I need the damn paper towels. That's a good idea. Put in a bigger pot. Because it is, I mean, the pot's inside the basket. The basket's from Target. I'd like to have my basket back, but it's probably never going to be back for me. Mushrooms grow natural. Well, I didn't know that they did that. Well, I didn't know that they would come up like this much longer. Like this, I mean, I've had this tree since December and this has not happened. So I'm like, the sun hit it maybe? And it was just like, whoop, here I am. Don't overwater either. Yeah, no, I think I almost overwatered the other day, but that's what happened. Cactus instead, I should. I'd probably hurt though. I'd end up hurt myself on the cactus. I should just stick with fake plants. We're so bougie over here, okay? And we're so extra over here that My my old job where I used to work, we had these fake olive trees and I loved them. I thought they were like the coolest little thing, like the decorative piece, aesthetic, you know. And I wanted some for my store, like for here. And we were not. I'm not going to spend $170 on a fake plant that is two. It's just two like leaves, like it, or two like things and like some leaves, two sticks, some leaves. It's not that much. I ain't doing it. So Vincent bought me an olive tree. So we have an olive tree here too. We have that one outside though. We have it in a pot and it's still small, so it's outside. Dreamcatcher, you have a bunch of plants too? Steve's here. He said, get some cactus. I liked it. Oh, Norma, that's okay. How are you late? What have you been doing? What do you do at night? What do you do? Who passed away? What happened? Yeah, the tree's it's a different tree. I forget what it's called. It's some sort of pine. But this is just how I roll over here. We just buy some weird random shit. And don't mind my wall that's white. You know, we only painted the back wall, for obvious reasons, because it's behind me. But this one's white and that one's white. Because if they were all dark, that would be, not on my days. I'd be so depressed. It'd be Depression City in here if I had them all dark. I can't do that. Man, I want to get some more plants now. I like to get, what are they called? Like ferns and stuff. I do like the easy plants. I don't do with the crazy tropical kind of stuff because I'm not good at that. But I do have a hummingbird. It came back. I put my hummingbird feeder up. So I'm literally like Snow White over here with the birds and everything, the wildlife. I don't think that's a smokable plant. I don't think it is either. Put a tea bag in the pot? What will that do? Because I have a lot of tea bags. I have a bunch. A wet one? I got tons of that. Your girl's got more. I probably have more rice, more tofu, more Asian pork. I don't know what it's called, so I'm going to call it Asian pork. It's like dry pork. Than the grocery stores do. Vincent's mom has sent him so much stuff, and I'm like, we need to take this to a food drive before it gets expired, because literally we have a pantry full right now, and I don't need it. I don't need tofu. Nope. Sorry, not gonna happen. Really? Ferns grow in the ground in Florida? Oh, I bet that's pretty. I don't even really remember seeing them down there, but I bet they are. Coffee and tea leaf soup. Oh. Yeah, tofu, yuck. Yeah, Cheryl. Yeah. Vincent likes it. And then I'm like, why does your mom have to send rice? Like, we can get rice here, right? But I guess it's Japanese rice, different rice, sticky. I don't know if it's stickier or something he said. It's different texture. Now I can tell the difference in the rice. He's the best. He's the best. We're going to have to take a little trip out to California. And we will be too. Yeah, so you boil water. I do, you're supposed to do like 4 cups water to 1 cup sugar for like for the hummingbird food, because I feed my own. But my pot, I would need a bigger pot. I still have my mother's pot, like from her pots and pan set. It was her last one. Still have it. Haven't bought a new set of pots and pans. I probably never will. I swear I won't. We've been cooking everything with this one pot, and it's a little too small, so I have to do like 3 cups to 1. So my birds get a little extra high over here. They get a little extra sugar, but they seem to love it. Oh, Norma, that's so nice of you to donate food. There are so many people out there that need it. There really are. Especially like clothing, essentials. Really, they really do need it. People do need it. I don't have a green thumb either. That's why I'm over here asking you guys, like, what do I do with this plant? Vince is going to be surprised when I got this plant looking nice. Oh, he's still in Columbus. I wish he could bring me food, but that'd be a really long drive. I mean, he will when he gets home. He will grab me something, but... Intruders, and he said. There are a lot of members in here. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Wow. I'm surprised there aren't a few more people that are. But we have a lot of members in our group. And I was listening to some of my older videos today, and we have come a long way. We've come a long way, guys. I think we have, anyway. Let's see. Where are we at? Oh, my lordy, guys. Let's see. 7807. We're past 7,800 subscribers, guys. Look at that. That's awesome. We have that many people that want to come and hang out with us. That's pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool. Ooh, White Russians. My friend used to love White Russians. She used to love them. I forgot about those drinks. Yeah, it's really nice. It's really nice to see the progress. Really nice. We're almost ready to get our Nancy Grace cardboard cutout. Vincent's been talking about it. I think he's excited too. I think he's excited to see it. Because he's been talking about it. He's like, you're almost there. You're almost there. I'm like, we're getting there. We're getting there. We love it. And it's like, I swear, like every couple thousand subscribers, I change where I'm sitting. So maybe I'll be changing where I'm sitting next time. Just kidding. I'm not changing where I'm sitting for a while. This is where I'll be. Unless I get another moving desk. I have this desk that's movable and adjustable, but it's like it's not the greatest. So I can't put my mic on there because my mic stands way too heavy for it. Because I want to eventually be able to, use my blue chair. Yes, that's so sweet, Mountain Mama. She said we have these little food boxes in my area that are like the little book boxes. The motto is you take what you need and leave what you can. We put fresh produce from the garden. We have one near our school. It's for, I think, the students and stuff. They don't have food. And school's still in session as of right now. So I might be able to sneak some tofu in there. The kids won't want my tofu. They might want something else. Well, thank you guys all for being here tonight. I did have some questions. I'll leave those for our next live. We will do Letitia tomorrow when we hear a verdict, or I'll just come on maybe live in the morning and we'll just kind of hang out and see what happens. I don't see it taking very long, but then again, I thought it was going to take no time at all. So, oh, your church gives food once a month. Oh, that's so good. We had a church that my mom and I, when I was staying with my mother, we had a fire and stuff. So we had nothing. We had nothing. So we had to go to a church and do donations. So when I say that there's people out there that really need it, there are all kinds of people that you wouldn't even believe that need it. I mean, I got a jacket because I needed a coat really bad from a church. I just literally threw the jacket away last winter. Because it was like tore up, guys. It was like, I showed Vincent. I was like, yeah, I had like safety pins like right here. And Vincent was like, really, Tanya, you've been wearing this? Like, he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, well, I love this jacket. It was free, but it means more to me than anything. Cause it meant a lot to me because it was something I needed really bad at the time and I didn't have money to get it. So there was a church, so I don't know, it was sentimental reasons. I kept a hold of it. So finally, he bought me the same exact coat, but a brand new one, same exact coat. Because I tried to get the zipper broke. So like, I couldn't zip it. And so I went to go try to get it fixed and they couldn't fix it. So it was like, Oh, all the flowers? Oh, I will. Yeah, send me those somewhere. I'll love to see them. Oh, it's trying to rain and Ashley's out there doing her due diligence, helping people. I'm just reading you guys' stuff. Yeah, we do. I am attached to some stuff that I have like 2 jackets my mom got me right before she passed away. I'll never wear them again. They're not what I mean, I don't even want them, but I do want them. Do you know what I mean? I'll never get rid of them. It's like I have a one tote I keep with all my stuff. So we do get attached. I'm going to come on tomorrow midday, like mid morning, probably morning actually. I'm hoping morning. I'm going to wake up super early and I don't know like how long it'll take when after, I don't know. So I don't know if they're going to just do like sentence, or if they'll do, I don't know if it's even straight to sentencing. I'm not sure. I'll have to look. But if it's, I don't, straight to sentencing or if she'll, or if they'll do like victims impact statements first. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know how it's going to process is going to go. So I don't know how long we'll be on the live for, but I'll be here. So I'll probably just do like I did last time. I'll just work out and stuff as we're on the live. That's what I did last live. I was like, Letitia's not ruining my day. Oh, something just stung my eye, I felt like. I was just reading the chat real quick. Okay, well, you guys have a good night. No, the jury did not work during the weekend, Pamela. They went home at 5 o'clock. I was so mad. You know what's going to be nice, though? I'm going to be by myself for a little bit. Just like a little bit. You know, it's not like, not. I love Vincent. I love him when he's here. He's usually sleeping in the chair, so it's like I'm by myself. But you know when it's like real quiet and there's just nothing? I'm going to enjoy this for a minute. Like, I'm not going to walk out there to those crazy dogs. I'm just going to. Okay, so impact statements and stuff. Well, that's good news. So hopefully she'll be sentenced tomorrow and she'll just go away forever. That's my plan. That's my plan for her. But I love you guys. I will see you guys tomorrow. Oh yeah, you're off tomorrow, Summer. Sleuthing Mondays. That doesn't go, but we'll figure something out for Mondays. We'll have to think of a name. Maryland Monday or something. That'd be cute. Well, you guys have a good night, and I will see you guys all tomorrow on tomorrow's night. Bye, guys.